Come on. Okay, guys. We are live. We're live. Hey, guys. It's Old Man G here. We're back again with another Red Devil Studio live podcast. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. It's a full house here. It's a full house. We've got Mantaha, Shawnee, Kaysai, Abdullahi, Josh, and LB, and we've got a lot to basically go through. Oops, sorry, that's me. Sorry about that, guys. That's me. So without further ado, I guess let's get straight into it. So Premier League fixtures. I'm just going to unmute everyone now. Okay. All right. Sorry, everybody. So Premier League fixtures. Obviously, the Premier League has basically just come out now. Like the upcoming Premier League fixtures have come. And the Premier League is scheduled to be back hopefully by the end of June. So I'm going to just quickly get these Premier League fixtures up and just bear me for 2 seconds. So I had all this sort of set up beforehand. I'm going to screen share it. 2 seconds. Right. Okay. And I just want people we're just going to have a quick conversation about some of the key matches. So can everyone see this?
Yeah.
Can everyone see that?
It's too small. Can you kind of embolden it a little bit?
Embolden it. Okay, cool.
Yo, I've got like 2 screens on here, so I can probably see
Okay,
it.
can everyone see that now?
Yeah, we're good.
Cool. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you can see, obviously the Premier League, it's due to start from Wednesday, the 17th of June. And I just thought it would just be a good idea to just have a conversation about some of the key games and what people expect from these games coming back. So as you can see, I think the first big one that stands out here is Manchester City versus Arsenal at 8:15 on Wednesday, the 17th of June. One of the first big games confirmed. So I just want to go around everyone. I'll start off with let's start with Abdullahi. Abdullahi, can you give me a thoughts on how you see Man City, Arsenal, how you see that going down?
Like I said, people say, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah. People may say I have an agenda against Pep Guardiola. I keep saying it to everybody. As long as Pep Guardiola wins that Champions League in Man City, my agenda with him still stands. It's gonna stand until the game. I'm serious. I'm not a racist guy. Until he wins that Champions League with Manchester City, my agenda with him continue to go. It will continue growing until he wins that champion. If it doesn't win that Champions League, for me, it's a failure. Automatic failure for me. I don't care. That guy spent billions of money.
Okay, but Abdullahi, but specifically about this game, do you think that that's going to be the reason why Manchester City will lose against Arsenal?
See, Red Devils today. If Man City lose against Arsenal, it's game over. Just bye to the APL. If he lose that match, and what Liverpool just need just two wins. Win against the match they're gonna play on Sunday against Everton and win their next match against Crystal Palace. Once Man City lose against Arsenal, bye to the league. Just kiss the Premier League and tell Liverpool, congratulations on winning the EPL. That's it. And that's it. Because the only thing that will make Man City win that league is if Liverpool lose the match consecutively. If Liverpool doesn't lose any match consecutively and just only one lose is what Man City needs. Just one lose and boom. People kind of write Arsenal up. I'm saying it right now. I understand the kind of way Arsenal play, the kind of manager Mikel Arteta is. But EPL is all about surprises. Anything can come from anywhere and win. So I'm not giving an Arsenal a negative scenario. I mean, like it's game over. No.
Okay.
As long as for me it's 60-40, there's still a chance. And do you think I told that Man City defense? I make Laporte and Otamendi for me should be in class B academic break warming up there.
Okay.
I'm serious. I'm serious. It should be in class B break. The only defender that I trust in that Man City defense is Fernandinho. Fernandinho is not even a defender; he's a midfield. He's a DM. So he's been playing defender because of the injuries Man City has. So if Man City lose that match on Wednesday,
so Abdullahi, score prediction. How do you think this is going to act? Just because we've got quite a few fixtures to go through and topics.
Okay, if Man City score first, it's bye for me. If Arsenal score first, if Arsenal score first, I'm going with Arsenal. Arsenal will concede. I know their defense is not that good. Arsenal.
Okay.
I'm looking at a 2-1 win for Arsenal. PM Aubameyang, and let me say, Lacazette.
So 2-1. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough, Abdullahi. Okay. Goodness. Sean. What do you think? What are your thoughts on City versus Arsenal?
Yeah, we sort of touched on it a little bit last week on the previous podcast of not really knowing how each team's going to respond. City might be one of them that responds in a negative way, not having the crowd behind them, especially at the Etihad. So Arsenal could use that to advantage. If I was Arteta, that's what I'd be saying to the team. I'd be like saying, look, listen, we're going to a neutral stadium. It's going to be, just our players versus their players. Let's get at them. So Arsenal have got a good chance of getting at it. So wishful thinking for us being a Liverpool fan. It'll be nice. Of course, I want to talk to the Arsenal players, and I want to tell the City players that they've got no chance. Because obviously, if they get beat, Liverpool are just a couple of games away from winning the Premier League.
Was it true? So is it true that if City lose to Arsenal, then basically Liverpool can basically win the Premier League by beating Everton? I think is that the case?
Confirmed. Yes, confirmed.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
it's
Right.
automatically
Okay.
confirmed.
Fine.
Yeah.
Shawnee, go on, man.
So with that in mind, City will be under pressure first off, because they need to beat Arsenal. Even though I don't know whether they just do they really think that they can still catch us and still win it? I don't know. But it's hard to tell. I don't know. Like some of the way the Bundesliga is, they responded in quite a positive way. Everybody there. So I can't really see how it's going to go. I'd like to see Arsenal win it. So I'm going to go 2-0 to Arsenal.
Okay. 2-0 to Arsenal. Okay, fair enough. Okay, Mantaha, what are your thoughts on this game?
Okay, so with respect to this City Arsenal, because it's like on it here, yeah. So I believe like Man City, they are not in pressure. Like people are trying to tell me, portray as if Man City is in pressure. Bro, they gave up. They gave up the league, so they have thrown the towel, on the league. Now it's like they're coming back from injury, like pretty much 2.5 months, 3 months. Okay. Why they should take a risk of playing that aggressively and getting the player injured, because Laporte is back from an injury, right? And then you have likes of Benjamin Mendy, for example, he's injury prone as well. Then you have likes of Aguero and all these guys. Why you need to risk your players, even though like it's pretty much done and dusted for Liverpool? Let's be honest over here. Like their agenda and their motive is like to win Champions League at least, So at least they can, limit the damages of the season. For example, if they win Champions League this season, I'm just putting this way. If they win Champions League and Liverpool wins Premier League, right? Who have better season now? That's a question. So I don't think so.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think so. Man City is under pressure. And when I see this game, Arsenal, like they're 3 points away from Europa League qualification. So Arsenal will be coming for this game. So I believe it will end up, 2-1 for City or 2-1 Man City. Yeah.
2-1 Man City. 2-1 Man City. Okay, fair enough. So far, generally, seems to be in favour of Man City. Josh, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think what Sean said was right. We don't know. It's going to be the first game back. Well, obviously Aston Villa playing beforehand. It'll be kind of interesting to see what the Aston Villa Sheffield game is going to be like before we watch that one. Just see the fitness levels, because we know the Premier League is a lot more intense than all the other leagues out there. We watched the Bundesliga. We saw Dortmund were really fit. Leverkusen are really fit. Bayern Munich are just Bayern Munich. For me, I think it's going to be a draw. I don't think it's going to be like a high-scoring game, anything like that. But obviously, there's weaknesses in both defenses. It's just going to see who's sharper on the end of the day. So I'm just going to go sit on the fence, 1-1 draw.
So you don't think that Arsenal are fit, like obviously we've seen the fitness video and stuff like that. You don't think that Arsenal have more to play for the momentum that do you think that they can't go out and beat Manchester City?
I mean, I'm an
Arsenal fan.
Arsenal fan. I'd love for us to win, but it's still Man City at the end of the day. They're, arguably the best. Yeah, but Liverpool is a close first. They're the second best team in England. And the Liverpool and City are miles ahead of the rest. And I mean, their defense has been trash, and I'm not making excuses, but they're still second with that, Otamendi and the likes of them, and playing Fernandinho as a makeshift centre back. And they're still in the Champions League. I would probably say they're going to beat Real Madrid. I don't think they're going to win the Champions League, but they're still, arguably the best team in England. So got to put some respect on Man City, even though Guardiola is a bit of a bold fraud. But yeah, I think I still think it's going to be a bit of a passionate game for. What's the word I'm looking for? A bit of an emotional game for Arteta. Is going back to City, things like that. Playing Guardiola.
That's what I was saying. Doesn't that give Arsenal an advantage, because obviously he's been under Pep. He knows how Pep's mind's going to work.
Yeah, I mean,
Arsenal's fans.
I think in the coming seasons, if Pep stays and if Arsenal do win this one, it could be like a sort of a good battle, a good duel. Something for the headlines, like the student has become the master sort of headlines. If Arteta could win, it could be something, some good battles over time. But it's the first game back. I don't expect much, honestly. So that's why I'm going with a draw. I think it's the most sensible result.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so LB, can you hear me?
Yep. Can you guys hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. So, what's your thoughts on City versus Arsenal?
Look, I think with City not really having much to play for, in the sense that they can't win the Premier League, and we don't really know as to whether they'll be in the Champions League next season. Not too sure how they're going to sort of respond to that. As for Arsenal, they still have a lot to obviously play for, and I think they will, give it their all in order to get a top 4 spot, even if it's 4th. And I think just because, or despite City having not really much to play for, we still got to, like what Josh was saying, put some respect on City as well, and know that they are the second best team or first best team in England, and that despite the amount Arsenal want to get into the top 4, it is going to be a tough game for them. So I think City should be able to win the game.
Okay.
I'd probably say a 2-1 victory to Man City.
2-1.
Yeah.
2-1 victory to Man City. 2-1. Okay, fair enough. LB, KSI or K Casadires. What are your thoughts?
I think this game's going to be an absolute. I think people need to put in respect. I think this game kind of decides how the top 4 race is going to go, because I don't think lots of people are actually realizing this, but 5th place to 2nd place is actually a 12-point gap. And look at Man City's next couple of fixtures. Let me get this up. So Man City play Arsenal, then they play Burnley, then they play Chelsea at Chelsea at home, then they play Newcastle away, and then they play Liverpool at their home. And if they lose these 3 big games, there could be a 3-point gap left. Arsenal, I think they're still in the top 4 race.
Okay.
I think I've seen like the training videos. Arsenal, as I said last week, they don't look fit.
They don't look fit.
Sané,
Okay.
Leroy Sané is back as well. I mean, look, City. I think lots of people are saying no. City not going to take this game seriously. They will take this game seriously because they need to get fit for the Champions League game against Real Madrid when they come back in August.
Okay.
So I think there's going to be. I think the key players in the game will be Leroy Sané,
Okay.
Pepe, Martinelli, Aguero, Raheem Sterling, Kyle Walker, because they're going to be fast players, and I think they're more fit enough. So this is why I'm going to go with Man City 5-0.
Man City 5. No, fair enough.
Lost his mind.
No,
Lost
fair
his
enough.
mind.
There's predictions. So like the way you were building up, I was like, oh, it's going to be closer. But Man City 5-0. Fair enough. Okay.
Listen.
Okay.
Because I don't think Arsenal got the right mentality, and yeah, this is the end of Arsenal. I think Aubameyang. I think lots of their players look fat and rusty.
Okay.
Kevin De Bruyne
Lost his mind.
rusty as well. I mean, look, I think Man City will win 5-0, and I think lots of people will realize this as a reality check.
Fair enough. Okay. Let's quickly just move on. Just a few. I'm not going to say go through every single fixture. We still got quite a bit to talk about. But clearly I would say that the next biggest one here is Tottenham versus Manchester United. Now I already have my thoughts on Manchester United as a fan. But I will leave that.
That Tottenham team is fit, man. Harry Kane is back, man. Son Heung-min is back. So don't get that team off. I'm sorry, don't get them off.
So what? Now you're speaking, Abdullah. What do you think, Abdullahi? What do you think is going to Tottenham versus Manchester United? Who do you think is? Who do you think? What do you think is going to happen? Who do you think is going to win this?
I'm only feeling just 3 players in that United team. If they're on their A games, they will beat Tottenham Hotspur handsomely. When I mean handsomely, they will destroy Tottenham Hotspur. Is Marcus Rashford? If he's on his A game, that game it's gonna be game over in the next 20 minutes. If it's on his A form, Bruno Fernandes has to be on his A game. Paul Bill Pogba. Those 3 players has to be on their A game. If those 3 players are on their A games, no matter what Tottenham brings in, it's game over for them. If Labiu Pogba is doing summer, if it's not fully fit, and Bruno Fernandes is not on his A game, and are you gonna put up pressure on Marcus Rashford to play? I'm sorry, man. That game will be won by Jose Mourinho because he knows how to beat. He will find a way to win United. But those 3 players I mentioned, if they're on their A games, you're gonna be surprised. It's gonna be over in the next 20 minutes. It's gonna be over.
So obviously, as I said, on Saturday at some beta, Harry Kane, Son Heung-min, and all these players were available, were playing last time Spurs United played, and Manchester United, they didn't have Pogba, they didn't have Martial, they didn't have Bruno Fernandes, they didn't have Igalo, let's say, and they still had Ashley Young at right back, and still Manchester United managed to win the game. So why do you think that United, who now have all those players back fit, and Spurs, who had Kane, Son Heung-min at the time, why do you think that United don't have a chance here?
Okay, the reason I say United doesn't have a chance is, you see something about Jose is, no matter the situation Jose always find a way to win. Always find a way to win. It will always, if it is for him to park the bus, Jose will park the bus and win. He doesn't care. I'm saying Jose doesn't care about what people's gonna say about him. He's gonna find a way to just, if it is to put 6 man, 7 man, 8 man on the back line. 1-0 is okay for Jose. He doesn't need to win 5-0, 4-0.
But Abdullahi, but the problem with the Euro is that this is the first game after restarting a league, So when it comes to that point, like the intensity is low. I mean, we don't know the fitness levels of both the teams, And even with Jose Mourinho, but we don't know. Still, like, Pogba is back as well. I know that, but still, Pogba is injured, right? Like, he was injured, right? So he's not, like, match fit ready.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we have to wait. But I think just still, like, if you see, slightly United are slightly favorites for this game, because the reason is that because they have always shown up against the big opposition, at least this season, So that's the only reason I can say United have a chance to win this game. But like, my prediction will be completely different to you. Go ahead.
Oh, because reason I said that is because I understand it's the first game, like everybody's gonna be finding a way to be fit, blah blah blah. But this is the ideal scenario here. Nobody
Mhm.
wants to lose because it's the first game. Everybody just want to be on their high games. Maybe they
Okay.
find a way to win. Nobody want to lose. This is gonna be the ideal scenario. If Jose wins, now he has a bragging right over United because it's his former club.
Okay.
Jose will never lose one. He doesn't like losing twice. Jose, I don't think Jose has done it before, losing twice.
Abdullahi,
in the same
Abdullahi. I see.
Mhm.
I interrupt you there. I interrupt you here. Before the thing started, right? Okay. So
Mhm.
you know that Manchester United are playing Norwich in the FA
Yeah,
Cup
FA Cup.
quarterfinal.
That's a game. That's a game.
Who did Norwich knock out of the
Uh,
FA Cup?
um, Tottenham Hotspur, I know.
So the bottom of the table team,
Mm-hmm.
it's the bottom of the table, knocked
Mm-hmm.
out Jose Mourinho's side.
Okay,
You know.
this is the key now. United against any big team, Man City, Chelsea, let me say Liverpool. United always find a way to win. Against those small teams, they flop. Why? Because they don't have a creative player. Now they have a creative player in Bruno Fernandes, which is the ideal number 10, who can create and who can score goals. Now
Okay.
you have a return of Paul Labille Pogba, who has a creative player too. So you are taking the burden out of Rashford a lot. Now
So,
Rashford, all Rashford is gonna be doing is I can just score, I can just play, and I can do anything I want to do because I have a creativity in behind me who can supply me goals.
what you're saying seems to support the theory that Manchester United will win. Anything that you're saying
That's what I'm saying.
seems to
That's what I'm
be
saying. Like
working.
United has a hedge of
Okay.
winning, but don't write off Ose. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't
Okay.
write, don't write off Ose just because it's the first game. We just have to be a little bit skeptical. Like, okay, yeah, United are favorite, 100% favorite, but this is APL. Anything is possible.
That's
So
fair
my
enough. Go on.
my
What's your
prediction is
score
already
prediction?
United already. I'm giving it to United already because they have a fully fit squad. So
Okay.
I'm already giving them the win already.
Okay. Fair enough. Thanks, Abdullahi. Josh, so I heard you in the back on Josh next. How do you think this is gonna finish? How it's gonna play out?
Yeah, well, honestly, Man United were on fire. You know, they had a little bit of I can't remember the sort of last game they lost. If I'm perfectly honest with you, maybe was it Liverpool? No, was Liverpool maybe from what I remember before their sort of great streak. You know, Bruno Fernandes coming in. He just looks like honestly looks like a complete midfield. I was surprised how easily he just took control of games. You know, he come from the Liga NOS, and you know, coming into a new league, I didn't expect him just to fit in so well, and he must be maybe great in the dressing room, great to get along with. You know, they obviously Man United honestly missed that creative player that where Paul Pogba comes into the equation, even though they decided to play him deep for whatever reason. But Bruno Fernandes just like it's almost like he is almost like your Paul Pogba. You look a lot more comfortable winning games and winning games comfortably when he's there. Just simply having that one creative midfielder is being so essential for Man United. I know you've been beating bandit teams in Europa League and stuff, but you're putting in some amazing shifts in the Premier League as well. And honestly, I just think Man United are going to win this game. I think it's going to be convincing as well. Spurs, obviously, Son and Kane coming back, but how fit are they? And honestly, I still think this United squad beats a fully fit Tottenham squad. That's my personal opinion. Rashford's looking good, and just the fact that they've already had the players. Let's be honest, Man U, Martial, Rashford, etc. Mason Greenwood. They just need someone to feed the balls into them. You know, you can't do much when Andreas Pereira is on the pitch and the likes of that. And you know their defense is solid. Let's be honest. Maguire, as much as you know, when Lacazette when they came to the Emirates and Lacazette made him look like, well, anyway. But apart from that, Maguire's been solid for most games I've seen him. The Wan-Bissaka is like having three defenders. So yeah, I don't see you conceding a lot. Number one. De Gea has honestly been really, really good this season. Like he's been every season. I know he makes mistakes sometimes, but De Gea is, still for me top 5 goalkeepers in the world. But for me, Man United clearly win this one, at least by 2 goals.
Okay, fair enough. Thanks, Josh. Okay, LB, what are your thoughts?
Look, I think this will be a really good game. The gap between United and Tottenham is smaller than the gap between City and Arsenal, and quite similar to Arsenal. Tottenham, as well as Man United, have a lot to play for because 4th spot isn't guaranteed for United, and obviously Tottenham are wanting to get into the top 4 as well. Obviously, Son and Harry Kane will be 2 big inclusions for Tottenham. They're arguably 2 of their best players, so they're obviously pivotal. But in terms of who's going to win this game, I honestly see this game turning out to be a draw.
Okay.
Yeah, I think both teams are quite sort of even. Obviously, they haven't been playing for the last 2 to 3 months, so they're not going to be, match fit. But I can sort of see this game turning out to be a draw, which won't be a bad result for United. As for Tottenham, I think they'll still be a bit sort of bummed, and they'll still obviously want the win. But like I said, I think it'll be a draw.
Okay, fair enough. Thanks, LB. Appreciate it. Montaha, what are your thoughts?
Oh, like pretty much. What do you call? What's that guy name before me who just said LB something like that?
LB,
Okay? Yeah. Okay. I mean, he stole my flipping prediction, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, but like, if I see right, Man United before this pandemic, they were like in red hot form, bro. They are flying, bro. I mean, now situation changes, man. I mean, even for example, for Spurs, the star players are back, and for example, the player which I really admire, Harry Kane and Ronaldo, these guys are back. So, I mean, it's going to be a difficult thing. It's not like the game will be played on the high intensity. I believe. What I believe is that like this game will be boring. I mean, when I mean boring means it's not going to be end-to-end game, I believe. And like there will be some precautions for both of the side. But Man United will the second half they will try to hustle and they'll rush it. They'll rush for it. So ultimately, I believe this game will end 1-0. Yes, I can see that 1-0 because if you can see Spurs, they are just 4 points behind Man United. And even they want to challenge for top 4 race, I mean, and it's not a good start for Mourinho, for example. If he loses to Man United, I mean, the club which like recently, when I mean recently means like, and last year, like they sacked him and everything, right? And all those drama and everything. So that thing will come back again. So he might be thinking about, to at least, how to, set it up or like fix this issue. The best possible way is to get a draw. And you can get away with it as well, regardless of how well you play, because it's the first game. Nobody's going to complain you. The quality was poor, or the play didn't perform to the standards. But like you can get rid of from anything. So you have plenty of excuses. So I believe Jose Mourinho will be conservative, super conservative. He'll get some a G or something like that, and to end up 1-0. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Montaha. Appreciate it. Okay, Shawnee, what are your thoughts on this game? We've got one more game to do after this, but go for it.
Yeah, once again, it's tough because like we were saying earlier, we're sort of unsure. But if I was to not have that kind of cop out, I would say that maybe I'll keep it short and just like say I kind of agree with Montaha there. And just like say it could just be like quite an edgy game between these two. They're both in, well, obviously Man United in prime position for 4th place, but at the same time Tottenham would probably fancy their chances, especially Mourinho. He wants Champions League football as well, and he'll see this as a good chance. Use whatever he can to make sure that he secures that 4th place. So it's going to be an interesting game, probably a stalemate, I would imagine. So I'll just go. I'll just go with that. A stalemate for both of them, and like I say, they both got their stars back. Yep,
so score. So specific score, Shawnee. Specific score.
Yeah, I'll go with 2 apiece.
2 apiece. 2 apiece. Okay, fair enough. KSI man. Kessie Reds man. What's your thoughts on United versus Spurs? Kaz, can you hear me? That's a stream. Sorry, that's my bad. Kaz, can you hear me now? Sorry.
Yeah, man, I can hear you.
Yeah, go for it.
I think this game's gonna be a very good one. I think it'll probably be game of the week.
Okay.
I personally think that the left back and right back situation, Tottenham will have an issue at the right back, and United will have an issue at the left back. Bergwijn and Rashford are going to be taking on both left back and right backs. I think if Steven Bergwijn is going up against Luke Shaw, I think it's going to end in one way. And I think Bergwijn is too much of a quality. So I would personally either do 2 things.
Okay.
If I was Ollie, I'd go with 3 at the back, and I think I put Luke Shaw at centre back because I don't want Luke Shaw to get absolutely roasted by Steven Bergwijn. And yeah, if he gets roasted by Steven Bergwijn, I think Spurs will get lots more chances. But when there's a Marcus Rashford, there's a Marcus Rashford. Everyone knows my stance on Rashford. I think he is better than Mbappe and Sancho.
Umba, what? No. What?
I knew this was gonna.
Kylian Mbappe.
I knew this. I knew this was gonna. Right, everyone chill. Wait, but Abdullah, let KSI finish. Let him finish.
Nah.
We'll come to that in the next segment. But KSI, just round us up here.
People on about this Mbappe, man. Shut up. Rashford's level ahead of Mbappe. Man. If you put Mbappe in that United team,
I'm sorry to interrupt you. When you're saying about the future GOAT, when Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi retired, it's called Kylian Mbappe. That guy is a baller. When you say the baller, why are Real Madrid the best club in the world after Kylian Mbappe? Not
Bro,
because
Abdullahi, bro, let QSI speak, bro.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
You know,
let's just round this up because I've got one more Premier League fixture to talk about. So go on.
I'm looking at the chat right now, and they're saying Luke Shaw at centre back. If you actually watch United, Luke Shaw, look at the Liverpool game. He pocketed Firmino in that. I think lots of people are disrespecting United. I think people think we're a joke or something, bro. Actually look at us and actually watch us play. Luke Shaw as a centre back. I don't even think these man even watch United, bro. Honestly.
Okay, so
I think Rashford personally.
What's your prediction? What's your scoreline? Just we have to move on because we've got a lot still to talk about. What's your scoreline?
4-1 United, Rashford hat-trick.
Ooh, fair enough. Okay, fair enough. But we'll see. Okay, I want to just talk about one last game before we move on to the next topic because we've still got like 3 more topics to talk about. But I thought this would be very important. I kind of want Shawnee to start us off here. Like I said, I'm not going to go through every single game, and that is Everton versus Liverpool. That's going to be on the Sunday. Okay, that's the first game that Liverpool are going to have when they come back. It's away to Everton. Now, possibly, obviously, if City lose to Arsenal, this might be a title decider. So I'm going to just bring Shawnee back into the stream. Shawnee, Everton versus Liverpool. Everton versus Liverpool, man.
Yes, sir.
How do you see this going down?
Yeah, I think this is where Klopp will come in clutch because he could really rally everybody up here and just like say, look, listen, it can be done and dusted right here, right now. Let's go and do it. He'll be really good at that. He'll be really up for it as well. And I'm not just saying this as a Liverpool fan, but I think that just because we've got this kind of manager, I think Liverpool might be the team that maybe struggles the least out of all of this. So I'm just going to go for a straight win. Maybe Everton get a goal somewhere along the lines, but I'm just going to go with a 3-1 win to Liverpool. Just a convincing one. Like I say, I think Klopp will do all the right things and say all the right things to the team, and I think as well, Everton. It's not like they're playing for anything. They're just sort of bumbling around like mid-table. So like, it's not like they're like, oh my goodness, we've got to get Adam to like, to do what exactly, so I don't think that this is going to be as complicated or I guess as complicated as what most people think. I think it's just going to be quite an easy, not easy, but it's just going to be a routine run through. I don't think they've beaten us in like the past like 6 or 7 Merseyside derbies. So I think Klopp's going to rally the troops in the right way, and we're just going to go in and get a decent win in it, and hopefully secure the tie. It just all depends on obviously what happens at City, but yeah, I'd imagine that Liverpool will respond in the most positive way, especially because I'm fairly sure it's at Goodison, is it?
At Goodison, yeah.
Yeah, it's at Goodison. We love going to Goodison, bro. Like we've had success there in like the last few seasons now, and I think with everything that I just said there, taking all that into consideration, because it's not even decided yet, is it? Like when are we playing?
So it's the 21st of June.
Is
21st
it?
of June.
Okay.
That's decided.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So 3-1 to Liverpool. Will we get the title there? I don't think. Maybe not. I don't know what's going to happen if Arsenal do a good job for us over at the Etihad, then we'll secure it there and send the team on holiday.
Oh,
Thanks, Shorty. Okay.
Levi.
So come on. So Mantaha, actually, we'll go to Mantaha. What are your thoughts on Liverpool?
Bro, I'll keep sweet and short with this fixture. Ancelotti, bro. I mean, my brother Shawnee is underestimating Ancelotti.
Okay.
I mean, this game, bro. I mean, Liverpool will be so frustrated, man. The way they will come back now. I mean, like after the Atleti loss and everything, what happened and all those things. Early exit from UCL. I mean, oh my God. So I can see Liverpool winning this game. Okay, but with controversy.
Okay, with controversy. Okay.
Yeah, and I can see for a penalty for Liverpool and 1-0 win. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so that's my prediction for this game.
Okay, interesting. No, fair enough. I think that's a good point, Montaha. LB, what are your thoughts?
yeah, I think Liverpool are going to take a lot away from the loss against Atletico Madrid, where they almost, got complacent and, thought that they'd win the tie. Obviously, that's Champions League football. This is Premier League football. That was Atletico Madrid. This is Everton. But in terms of complacency, I don't think they'll become complacent when they do play Everton. The title was there for the taking. Everton, and with all due respect, are not doing too well these days, whereas Liverpool obviously being on top of the ladder, and like what was mentioned previously, I think Klopp is just going to, really rally the troops and just, get into the heads and just, send them the strong message that, it's there for the taking. The title's there for the taking. If City lose and we win, we might bring home the Premier League title. So I think Liverpool should win. I'll give a scoreline of 2-1.
2-1 to Liverpool. Okay, fair enough. Thank you for that, LB. I think so. Abdullahi, I don't think Abdullahi spoke. Abdullahi, what are your thoughts on this fixture?
Before the Premier League game finish, we know Liverpool always win with controversy. We know they always win with controversy. I think the only loss was Watford. All their wins has been from the beginning of the Premier League till like when the Premier League stopped because of the pandemic has been controversy. Liverpool have not been the last year of Liverpool are kind of known. So the guy saying Liverpool is gonna win straight 3-1 win. I'm sorry, it's not gonna be easy because you are playing against Carlo Ancelotti, who has beat Klopp twice at Napoli. He knows how to win against Klopp and against Liverpool. He has beaten them a lot, so he knows how to beat them. So Liverpool is gonna win with controversy, like what Mutaha said, and I agree with what Mutaha said. They're gonna win with controversy, just with controversy. They will have the edge, and that depends on the way Man City. If Man City lose on Wednesday, my goodness, Liverpool is gonna come out and be like, "We just want to win this. We don't care. We're gonna win. We just want to win and get the hell out of here." That's how Liverpool. But if Man City win, the pressure is gonna be on Liverpool to deliver. Now they don't want to lose. It now depends on Man City. Now it depends on Man City. Either they win or they lose. Everybody's gonna focus on Man City. Man City, Arsenal has to do Arsenal has to do Liverpool favor by winning. What's gonna give Liverpool the edge? Because if Man City lose, it's gonna be a problem. Like what the guy said, Man City has 3 tough matches ahead of them. They have Arsenal, they have Burnley, they have Chelsea, and after that they have Newcastle and they have what's called they have Liverpool. Those 5 matches. Out of that matches, they will lose 3. I'm very confident they will lose. I think 3. I'm very confident. Man City will lose 3 or 2. If they lose 3 or 2 after that matches, what they will do is game over. It's just bye-bye. Bye-bye to EPL. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
That's my take.
Fair enough. So what's your so you have a specific score prediction for this Liverpool Everton?
It's gonna be tough. I'm gonna say because I don't trust that Everton defense. I don't trust them. So I'm gonna give it ahead of Liverpool. Mane Salah is gonna score. I know that. So I'm gonna say 3-2 to Liverpool. To Liverpool. Sadio Mane is gonna score and then Mo Salah. Maybe Mane 2 and Salah 1. 3-2.
Okay. Fair enough. Thank you, Abdullahi. Now, Josh, have you spoken on this? Josh, I don't think you've spoken on this. Josh, and then Casey, and then we'll move on. Josh, thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, like Sean said, Everton haven't been in Liverpool in a very long time. I don't see them doing it now. Best Everton can get us a draw here, but I still don't see that happening. But yeah, I'm going Liverpool this one clear. Probably keep a clean sheet as well.
So score specifically?
I'm going to say 2-0 Liverpool.
2-0 Liverpool. 2-0 Liverpool. Okay, fair enough. Okay, thank you, Josh. And then lastly, Castle Red, or just to say K-Sai, that's how you know about K-Sai, man. What's your score prediction here? Liverpool Everton.
I'd probably say, I don't know, man. I'm gonna think about it right now. But personally, I think Liverpool. I think Everton would be. I think Everton will be up for the game, but I think Everton will be more up for it if Arsenal beat Man City. I think Liverpool. I think this is probably a tactical game. We'll see who is the more tactical genius in this game. And plot your clue. I think Liverpool would be Liverpool. I think this game. I think lots of people need. I think the Premier League first weekend is absolutely every single. You know the 3 games that you just said. I mean, everybody should be watching these games because it's going to be interesting. I think Liverpool will be so motivated, and I think Everton will be so motivated for this game. I think this game is going to be an absolute cracker. Of course, my last 2 predictions are absolutely destruction from United and City. My prediction for this game is 3-2 to Everton.
Really? Okay.
They're gonna grab a last-minute winner from Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Okay, so I think you're probably the only one in the chat that has given the win to Liverpool. So when that game comes back, we will certainly debrief. I'm going to be recording all these predictions so that when we come back after these games are played, we go back and replay some of these predictions and see what's up, and then maybe with a few more podcasts going on. This is our 30th episode, by the way. Just putting out there. We might do a few forfeits and what have you. So people might have to actually put they might have to do something. Let's put it that way. If they get consecutive score lines wrong, so let's put it that way.
Red Devil.
Yes, Gazelle.
If Liverpool win the league, right, I'll do a massive forfeit. I'm probably gonna be self-isolating from the football community.
Well, I don't think you'll be the only one. Anyway, let's quickly just sort of move on.
You guys might as well go shopping then.
UEFA versus Man City, guys. UEFA. So as Everton people were, now just get the article because this is Sky Sports show. Man City's Cas appeal hearing against European ban is set to begin basically this week. Now, from what I know about this, we won't actually find out the specific result until August. But the actual court appeal, the appearance, all that's supposed to be happening this week and next week or so. For people obviously that have been living under a rock. Right now, as it stands, City have been given a 2-year ban from the UEFA Champions League for basically not declaring basically they have more money than they're actually declaring, basically, and UEFA weren't happy about that. So they've got this commentary suspension. City feel like they're being harmed on by, and they're appealing against CAS. Now, hopefully this will be brief because I just want to ask everyone's opinion on it. I think the first question, so these are the 2 questions, is one, do you think that City will be successful with this appeal? Okay. And then the second question that I want to ask is that if they are not successful, what will be the effect on Manchester City as a football club? Okay, so like players, fans, all the rest of it. So will City be successful? And if they're not successful, what will the effect be on Manchester City Football Club going forward? So first thing, I want to just bring in is Montaha to start. Montaha, what are your thoughts?
Oh my God, bro, this is will be a hot topic for next week, bro, or this week, if you see that, because this is the most if you see that, all the super clubs, for example, so Madrid, Barcelona, United, Liverpool and PSG, and they stick their eyes to the outcome, to be honest. And for me personally, yes, they breached the law. I mean, in terms of revenue generation, everything, the way they showed some dummy figures, which was not accepted by UEFA. Let's be honest over here, okay? Why UEFA specifically targeted Man City? From the top clubs, right? For likes of, let's be honest, Madrid, Barca, all those clubs, excluding Bayern because Bayern is so, how should I say, stringent with, yeah, exactly. So they take care of loads of things, when it comes to Bayern Munich as a club, okay? But if you see all the other big clubs, right, are they really innocent? Let's be honest with you. No. The reason UEFA cherry-picked, Man City, it's because of viewership. For example, Chelsea was being they got the ban for a year or something with the transfers thing. Why? I don't. It's a completely different thing with respect to Man City, but still, why? You can see 2 things in common with their viewership. They don't have that many viewers, to give UEFA. So okay, even if for example, it's a club like Man City, if they're out of the competition, what UEFA losing? Pretty much nothing. They will replace City with United, more bigger fan base. One of the biggest fans in the world, more viewership. It doesn't matter. Because ultimately it's it's money and viewership thing. And if you see with Man City, right, how they deal with this case, really, why you chose Man City? You want to make an example of a club. You need to at least show your authority ultimately at some point to make an example of a club. And the best club at that time, who breached the laws and everything from the top super clubs, it's Man City. So also the first question I want to answer is outcome. It's 2-year ban. I believe it's too harsh. It's too harsh for a club like Man City. No. The football they play, I think so. You know what? This will be extended. This will not just end up in the 1 week. I believe they will be reappealing again to the Court of Arbitration of Sports. So I think so it will be reduced to 1 year ban. And if it's for example, if it's to 2 years again, if that's the case, 2 years, bro, then they are losing, the big players, man. And the first big player they're losing, bro. It's not Kevin De Bruyne. It's not Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne is 29 years old. His release clause is like 100+ million euros. I mean, with sensible European top clubs, top flights, right now wants to buy Kevin De Bruyne for 100 million euros after this pandemic and everything. No. I mean, very, very few clubs. For example, PSG will go for it, if they want to. I mean, the player, like most of the big club will target is Bernardo Silva. Because that guy is that guy's like the most talented player in Man City squad, if you see on the base of talent, pure talent, ability. So for me, I mean, oh my God, it's really bloodbath, man. I mean, then you have like Mahrez, I mean, Sane, and Sane is leaving, by the way, in the summer.
Yeah, I think Sane's probably going. Yeah.
Oh my God. So I mean, this really have a drastic effect on Man City, man. I mean, I think so. You know what? I think so. The ban will be reduced for 1 year. This is my prediction. Okay. I think so. It will be reduced to 1 year, and most of the players, most of them will stay for a year. Yeah, I believe that.
Okay. Fair enough. Thank you, Abdullahi. Okay, moving on. Thanks, Abdullahi. Sorry, Montar. It's not Abdullahi. I'm just reading onto it. Sorry, Montar. I'm reading what Abdullahi is saying somewhere. Shawnee, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen here? So the 2 questions obviously I asked. Like, what's going to happen? Do you think they'll return? If they aren't successful, the effect they'll have on Man City as a football club?
Yeah, obviously, it would have devastating effects because obviously they want the players in, and Champions League. That's what Champions League speaks is players. I don't know. I do think 2 years is a little harsh. There has to be some form of punishment though, because it really has to be stopped. Especially with it's quite right. What was it? Wantaha. There are other clubs. I mean, Barcelona is another good example. Just the amount of. Okay, fair enough. They made a lot with Neymar and that, but I mean, what if you look at clubs like that compared to Roma? It's just ridiculous. It really is, and it's just better. It's just better sending the message out there to all the other clubs and just say, right, this is we need to do this. We need to put something in place to make sure that we have like a level playing field to some extent. But yeah, I do agree. Like 2 years, it's a bit. Yeah, like if you give them a fine. The thing I don't like about fines is they'll just pay it and then buy more. So it's just like I don't know whether the whole you're not allowed to play football is better for them or better for a club like that, just to basically tone them down a little bit till I say, look, listen, you really can't do this. Because they're going to lose a lot of players, and it has a devastating knock-on effect. But because they have such good backing, they will recover from it, where another club might not be able to. So, I don't know. They will appeal it. I don't know. At the end of the day, they do also make FIFA a lot of money watching them play in the Champions League. So who knows what's going to happen? But for now, we're just going to have to. I guess just it's good. It's good that something is finally. I know it's too little, too late, maybe, but at least not. Or maybe we could say it's never too late. So let's just keep it positive and go. Okay, now we can maybe start thinking about some of the other clubs. I'm not picking on Roma because they're obviously a very rich club as well, but they're not going out and spending hundreds of millions of pounds, but they're still up there. They gave Liverpool a good run for their money when we won it last season, or the season before, sorry. So it's let's just see what happens. Watch this space.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you, Shawnee. So quickly going to LB. What are your thoughts on this?
I think Muntaha hit the nail on the head with this one, and in the sense that it's not only Man City who are a big club with all this money and who might be doing things in which they have done, like PSG, Real Madrid, Barcelona, all these big clubs. And it's just unfortunate for Man City that they're experiencing what they're going through these days. And the possibility of missing out on the Champions League for not only one season but 2 seasons. But I mean, I just want to ask you guys: can you honestly imagine a Champions League without Man City? I mean,
yeah,
I know that
So go on, LB. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really imagine that, can you? I know they've sort of underachieved and they haven't, even reached a final or a semi-final in 4 seasons. 3-4 seasons since 2016, if I'm correct. But you can't really imagine Man City not playing in the Champions League. And with the performance that they brought to the table against Real Madrid, if that sort of indicates the direction in which they're going, it's going to be so unfortunate for them, because when teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich are on the rebuild, this happens to Man City. And I'm speaking from an objective sort of perspective. I am a Manchester United fan, but I wouldn't be surprised if the appeal was successful and they're able to play next season. So yeah, that's my take.
Okay, fair enough, LB. Appreciate it. Josh, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I remember you saying in last week's podcast, that you think the ban will be reduced to 1, and that will be not the best outcome, but the most likely outcome. And I think I'm with you with that one. I think that would, 2 is definitely fair, but 1, I think all parties would be fair. I wouldn't see any City players leaving if it was 1 year, but if it was 2 years, you'd think some of the players there, like Aguero's, getting on. And I remember him saying he wasn't going to leave City until he wins a Champions League. And well, what's going to happen if you don't have the Champions League for 2 years? That'll be kind of awkward, So I think, honestly, just to throw a spanner in the works here, what would happen? What would be interesting if City by somehow win this Champions League and then they get banned for a year? That would kind of be. Would that be a good outcome for City, or would that be a? What would that be like for City? If anyone wants to answer that, just to kind of throw a different.
Yeah, can I answer that? Yeah, can I answer? Yeah.
Go for that, bro. Go for it.
Yeah, the problem with that, if City wins, but ultimately they're losing the thing, title, people. The problem with that, okay, City wins. You know what? The opposition fans, for example, some of the media, news outlets, they'll say, still it's a cheating though. You understand that in terms of what they did with the finances and the FFP, breaching the FFP rules and regulation, still they are in front of the criminals, okay, you know what, you're innocent until you're proven guilty, right? So but right now the case is not with the City. So if they win and they go out, that will be more innocence for a club perspective, it'll be revenge for UEFA. Oh, UEFA, take a shit. Yeah, get out. Ultimately, we won this cup. But what happened, right? Nobody's going to respect, respect Man City to winning that UEFA Champions League title.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That's the problem. That's the problem. So overall, okay, yeah. And 2 years ban, for example, stands. Oh my God, at least three big players are leaving the club. For me, Rodri was really good for Atletico Madrid, and he joined the club, and he's not playing 2 years UCL. I don't know what's going to happen. Same goes for Bernardo. Same goes for Kevin De Bruyne. Even I can see Riyad Mahrez making some, move here and there. Then, if that's the case, 2 years is pretty long, bro. Kevin De Bruyne, 29. In this month he'll be 29 years old. 2 years, 31. He was getting injured as well. how long he can play that. I mean, again, like, so it's better for them, you know. Like, for example, there's another situation as well. If they win Champions League and if they get 1 year ban, for example, instead of 2, that will win-win situation then for Man City. Yeah.
Fair enough. I'm going to just quickly get Case Iron because he's saying is a thing with his battery dying or something. I'm trying to get him on Discord, but I've got my headphones in, so I'm just going to get his 2 cents in. So just switch the room for 2 seconds. Okay. Case man, what are your thoughts on the UEFA versus Man City ban? Bro, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, it's not here. That's fine. Josh already spoken. So Abdullahi, what's your thoughts?
Man, the transfer ban is the 2 years is very, very difficult for, like, there must be something Man City did for them to give them the 2 years. It happens to Chelsea too when we were given a transfer ban for, like, I was like, what the hell is going on? We didn't break the rules. We followed all the rules. Magana and the board all followed. It was like the Uefa was like, we breached the rules. We were selling players. I was like, what the hell are you telling me? We didn't break any freaking rules because we followed the rule. The loan player was giving the loan players. The sellout was giving out the sellout. I was like, okay, we're gonna. Then Roman was like, okay, we go to the cast. Cast was like, we told cast we're gonna appeal this because we know we're not guilty about it. And they gave us 1 year, and we served the 1 year, and everything was over. So the only thing that can happen to Man City is just giving them 1 year because the 2 years is gonna be harsh. Look at those players they have: KDB, Raheem Sterling, Bernardo Silva, Riyad Mahrez. Those are the players. Those are the core players in that team that wins them title. Imagine them having 2 years transfer without Champions League. My goodness, that is like it's automatic failure for them. Imagine that. So I think if they go with UEFA and they kind of appeal it, I think the only thing the cast could do is give them 1 year. That's the only thing the cast could do. Give them 1 year because if Man City win the appeal, it's gonna UEFA is gonna look stupid in front of everybody. They're gonna look very stupid. They'll be like, why do you give them this 2 years ban when they don't even decide, they don't do anything wrong? They're gonna look stupid. So what UEFA is gonna be doing, they want to justify their situation. They'll be like, yes, we know what we're doing. That was why we give them this. They breach the rules, yes, they have to face the consequence. So if UEFA are confident that they're gonna win the case, they better be ready for Man City because Man City is bringing out all what they need to win the case. The only thing the cast could do is give them 1 year ban. They have to serve the 1 year ban. They have to serve it. Even if they serve the 1 year ban, how confident are we got those players in Man City team, the KDBs, the Raheem Sterling is gonna stay for 1 year without Champions League? That is tough, man. That's tough. Yeah, that's gonna be tough for them. So it's gonna be tough for me. It depends. We have to wait and see how this scenario pans out because at the moment it's gonna be over until we have the final decision about it. At the moment, it's a tough situation for all Man City fans at the moment. It's a tough situation for them. But even if they're gonna be winning, just 1 year, I think 1 year is gonna be okay for them to just kind of figure out what they're gonna do. 1 year is gonna be okay for them. 1 year is fine.
Okay. Cool. Has everyone had their say on this before we move on? I think everyone's had their say, haven't they? Yep. I think everyone's had their say. Oh, yep.
No, I think everybody already.
Yeah,
everyone's had to say. Everyone's had to say. Yep. Yeah, no. So I think that the general conclusion seems to be like basically watch this space. Basically, watch this space and see what happens. I agree. I think I think the big thing. I think Montar made a good point about this. Is just the idea that even if City get off the hook, etc., there's always this, and if they win the Champions League, there's always this kind of thing in the background, this idea of like, it's almost as if Liverpool, for example, had just been handed the Premier League before the reset. People would say, well, was it really, did you really win it? Was it really, there'd always be a question mark about the whole thing, So I think, like I said, I think this is a question of keep an eye on this space and see what happens. We've got 2 more topics left and then just a few more questions. Sorry, we're almost an hour in. So who wins the Liga? So again, quick thoughts. The Liga is obviously coming back. Liga is back. It is back this weekend. So Spain obviously being ahead of the UK regarding the COVID issue. And as you can see, if everyone can see the table right now, right, you have Barcelona obviously top, 58 points, then Real Madrid 56, Sevilla 47, so they're not catching up. Real Sociedad 46, Getafe 5th on 46 points, and then Atletico 6th, interestingly enough, on 45 points, you know, and then Valencia not too far out. So who's going to win Liga? Who's winning? Do you think, is it Barcelona's year yet again? Or do you think that this is Real Madrid have a chance? I'm going to go and start with Montaja, man. Montaja, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, so before this pandemic issue, right? If you see our league form, I mean, we're drawing the games in the league. Then we were lost by Man City, unfortunately, in the last 10 minutes of brain farts or defenders. Then in this, the game after that, we beat Barcelona comfortably in the second half. And then again, you know, the form was like iffy, you know, it's so uneven, you know, like one game in the league, we are like destroying the teams, and another league we're drawing or losing, you know. But after, like, I believe pandemic is like, you know, a blessing in disguise for us, because most of our injured players, they are back. I mean, yeah, most of them. Like, for example, Eden Hazard is back, and his Matchford has been training since last 1 month. Since he came back from ACL injury, he came from ACL injury. Still, he's not 100% match fit. Okay. Then Courtois was like, you know, injured with the groin injury, but like pandemic issue again, he recovered and is a match fit again. So when I compare both the teams, and for example with Barcelona, Lionel Messi, I mean, he's suffering from thigh injury again, so he's been training alone, you know, separately from the rest of the team. And there's a high possibility where he cannot start the game against Real Mallorca, which is a tricky game because they have to play away. Secondly, Real Mallorca is like battling for relegation zone, to come out of relegation. They're on the 17th spot. I believe they're just 1 or 2 points, just 1 point. Yeah, just 1 point, you know, behind Celta Vigo, which is another difficult team. So this is really interesting for them. And if Messi doesn't play, Ousmane Dembele is not match fit. Luis Suarez just came back from his knee injury. I mean, his knee was operated and he just came back. I mean, then who do they have a reliable goal scorer? If Messi is out, Luis Suarez is not match fit, Dembele is not match fit. Then you have Griezmann as a number 9, you know, or even they have Martin Braithwaite, which is pace merchant, another pace merchant, and I don't know how come our league allow Barcelona to sign him in mid-season, even though, because like, you know, there was loads of attackers that were injured. Ousmane Dembele was injured, so let's see, can he do that something? It's a tricky game, you know. And the way under Setien and Barca play, for example, if they don't have possession, you know, they press really high, you know, and you know that like coming after this pandemic, and the high pressing team usually suffer in this kind of thing, because you needed lots of physicality, and they lack that physicality. It's not the same Barcelona back in 2010s or even 15, like under MSN era or something like that. And now it comes to us. So we have an advantage over Barcelona. We have deeper squad than them. They don't have a deeper squad. We can rotate, and for example, Quique Setien also said in his interview, for Barcelona, like La Liga allowed of 5 substitutions, you know, so you can make a 5 substitution, but that's not a good side for him. That's not a benefit for Barcelona, because if you see Barcelona statistics, mostly they scored in the second half, because opposition, you know, like for example, La Liga, they get tired, the fatigue level increases, you know, so they usually score in 68 minutes, 78 minutes, you know, 80 minutes, you know, so that's one. But now when you implement 5 substitution rule, so other team, right, what they do is that like they can get the best players out, like, you know, in the second half. So this is the problem with Barcelona. What he's saying, this is the disadvantage for Barcelona in a sense. And if you see the squad, I mean, he said he doesn't have deeper squad, which exactly he meant, you know, when he was giving the interview. And when it comes to Madrid, we have like very good players, if you see, compared to Barcelona's bench. And again, like we have a problem. We miss our striker. There's a problem for us as well, because we rely upon just 2 strikers, pretty much one, which is Karim Benzema. Luka Jovic, he's injured again, because when he came back from quarantine, he came back as an injured, you know, with the ankle injury, so he's out for a month. So again, like we also have some to deal with our own problems and issues, you know. But still, we have a deeper squad in Barcelona. So when I analyze games by games, I mean Barcelona have to also face Atletico Madrid, Sevilla away. Then they have to play Celta Vigo away, which is again tricky fixture for them. It's like where they usually drop points. And if you see Atletico Madrid, they are not in top 4 right now, and Real Sociedad is giving tough time to most of the La Liga teams. They have given, so it's so difficult for Atleti. So I mean that game Atleti versus Barcelona will be crucial, and Celta Vigo versus Barcelona. With us, we have 2 difficult games: Real Sociedad away, which we usually win over there, and second is Sevilla at home. Yeah, and sorry, no, Sevilla. I'm sorry. Valencia at home. Valencia at home. So that will be like more tricky game for us. But if you see span of 11 games, Barca have to go to more difficult places than us. And I believe that this thing will go to the last match day of the league, I believe. And there is a chance where Barca can drop points as well as the weekend. So, but I still believe this will go to the last match day, and I think so we'll clinch it. Yeah, we'll win the title.
Fair enough. Okay. So obviously Answer Seed says, I think the tough matches are Barca, Bilbao, Sevilla, Celta, Atletico Madrid, Villarreal, and for Real, tough matches are Bilbao, Sociedad, and Valencia. So advantage Real. That's fair enough. There is just one. I just want Abdullahi to address because he's a Chelsea sort of fan here. But just briefly, Aditya Raj says, any updates on Timo Werner? Abdullahi, can you just address that comment on the Timo Werner sort of thing before we move on?
Okay, about Timo Werner, I think he's gonna sign once the Bundesliga is over. It's gonna be official between RSB Leipzig and the Chelsea. What they're waiting for, they want Timo Werner to concentrate on Leipzig season first because they're in Champions League right now, so they don't want him to be distracted. Like we're gonna move to a new club and everything. The release clause for them be agreed already between Timo Werner and Chelsea, and also RSB Leipzig. So once the Bundesliga is over, once it's finished entirely, so it's gonna be official between RSB Leipzig and Chelsea. It's gonna be official. Possibly this week or possibly next week. I'm very sure about that.
Okay, fair enough. And then KSA says Barcelona will win. Be realistic. So just move on. So just one more topic left after this. Shawnee, who wins the Liga? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Barcelona. I don't know. We were talking about Barcelona not winning it I don't know how many weeks ago it was now. It must have been a good sort of 6 weeks ago where there was a little bit of a gap between them. Actually, it was longer than that. There was a little bit of a dilemma. I think Barcelona were falling behind and they were actually quite a way off. And then all of a sudden it was reduced to just a couple of points. And now they're sort of floating around with each other, aren't they? What's the difference between them? There's not much, is it?
2 points.
2 points, okay.
Yeah.
No, just 2 points between them. So once again, it's just a matter of it's tough, isn't it? I would just go Barcelona just because I think maybe they'd maybe have maybe just a bit of a different, a stronger mentality. I don't know, that would just be my take on it. If it's very, very close, and I'd just say that that Barcelona will win it. But once again, it's so hard to tell because you just don't know. Like I said in my opening statement at the beginning, it's just all dependent on what we're going to witness. So, but if I had to say now, I'd just go Barcelona. I guess they picked up a lot of momentum to gain on Real Madrid, and then and hopefully they'll just be able to just continue that as well. Well, I say hopefully. I'm not a Barcelona fan, but yeah, I'll go with Barcelona.
Old man G, still there?
Sorry, can you hear me? So I think I muted myself accidentally. Sorry, I was supposed to say. So I was reading that. You didn't hear me. Stupid.
I was going to say I'm about to take over the podcast, make it Gooner Studios or something. Good you came back.
So basically on what Answer Seed's saying, Montage, do you want to respond to that quickly? Or
Oh yeah, actually, I just read the comment. Yeah, so answer, bro. I mean, yeah, I just missed the Bilbao thing, but yeah, okay, there will be no away. What do you call it? If Barca travel away grounds, like there's no fans, but same can be said for the Camp Nou as well. I mean, so a Camp Nou atmosphere is so intimidating, you know, when it comes to fans and everything. So even they are neutralizing at their home as well. So we have to see, because Atletico Madrid usually, you know, they be intimidated by fans, you know, in the Camp Nou. So this might be changing the scenario for Atletico this time, you know.
Fair enough. Josh, who do you think will win the Liga?
I'm going Barca. Yeah, I think I just want Barca to win. Simple as that. I think I don't know. Obviously Messi's still there. That's the difference for me. Real Madrid don't have Ronaldo, so for me, you know, this who's that commenting about Arsenal in the comments? You just relax. Yeah, that's the difference. You know, they don't have Ronaldo anymore. Not that sort of that one player can just grind that one club player, as they say. So you know, Messi still have Barcelona still have Messi. Real Madrid don't have Ronaldo anymore. Simple as that.
Okay, fair enough. LB, I think everyone has said LB. What are your thoughts?
Look, I think the break would have suited Real Madrid more, having Asensio and hopefully Hazard return to full fitness. And I think Real Madrid can win the La Liga title. You know, like what Muntaha was saying, Barcelona, their squad isn't it doesn't run as deep as Real Madrid's. You know, Suarez, Griezmann, all these players, especially Suarez. This is not the Suarez of 2014-15. Griezmann hasn't been doing the best since he left Atletico. Dembele continuously getting injured, and I think relying on Messi, they're going to eventually get exposed. And it's only 2 points, so I think Real Madrid should win the title, even though they are rebuilding. So it says a lot about Real Madrid.
Fair enough. Thanks, LB.
My LB, bro. My G, bro.
Adagio says, will Bundesliga be over by this month? Yes, I think it should be finished by the end of June. I'd imagine Bundesliga will be wrapped up. So if you're referring to the Timo Werner thing, then presume the assumption is that he'll be free to come to, if this deal has been agreed, he'll be free to come to Chelsea after the Bundesliga is finished, I assume. The only thing is that RB Leipzig are still in the Champions League. So it wouldn't make sense for him to leave after the Bundesliga if RB Leipzig still want to have him to play in the Champions League in August. So I would imagine that if he's going to come, it would only be fair for Timo Werner to come from September, not from when the Bundesliga finished. But I don't know. The way the transfer window is working this year is a bit weird. It's a bit strange. But my understanding is that like every league and every competition has to finish before these things are going to have to be able to be processed. But I'm not entirely sure. Just quick from Anthony before. Oh, Abdullah, have you had your thoughts on this? By the way,
No, I haven't spoken.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry, yeah, man. Then you speak, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna. I think it's 2 points between Barcelona and Real Madrid. I think Real Madrid have a fully fit squad now, including Barcelona. But I'm still gonna give the head to Real Madrid because they have a very full fit squad. Hazard is back. Asensio is back. My goodness, the way Hazard is training at the moment right now, that guy is fit. They really want to prove everybody wrong. People have kind of been launching on Hazard. This party is doing this. We have to just chill about Hazard. I told Mutara too. You guys need to chill about this guy. I understand the difficulties about him moving from Chelsea to Real Madrid, but you guys need to chill about Hazard a little bit. Now he's gonna. I already told Mutara this coming season, Hazard is gonna prove everybody wrong, a lot of people wrong, because he wants to show, yes, I I can be this player people look up to me about. So at the moment, I'm gonna give the head to Liverpool Real Madrid because that Barcelona defense, I don't trust them. PK and Mr. Longley or who do they even have their defense? So it doesn't make me trust them. So I'm gonna give the head to them. Like the La Liga is gonna be won by Real Madrid because I think Barcelona have a lot of big matches before Real Madrid. So it's gonna be a huge plus for World Cup for Real Madrid. So I'm gonna give my head to Real Madrid.
Okay, fair enough. Thanks. I think everyone has given their two cents about this. Also, posted on Alan Sazid saying why things like Barca have been dropping points in away games against poor teams like Granada and Espanyol, and Real Madrid have been dropping points at home versus poor teams like Celta Vigo. Yeah, and that's a fair point. It's just difficult at the end of the day because this whole thing of home and away, is it really going to make much of a difference? Because there's no fans really. So I think that the whole point of a home advantage is that it's because your fans are there. It's because of it's the pressure to all that sort of stuff. It's support, which you're not necessarily going to have. The only real advantage is that you might be more familiar with the stadium. But everyone has not been playing football for 2-3 months. So I guess we'll see. Mr. Wick says, "Gone exciting, you guys already chat about what matches they both have left." Sort of. I haven't gone into the specifics of the matches just for the sake of time. And speaking of time, let me move on quickly to our next topic, and then we'll just address a few questions. So what this was interesting. LB kind of sent this question, and I've kind of put a spin on it, and I was sort of say top FIFA World Cup or European Championship upsets. So it was going to be top like World Cups or FIFA World Cups, but I was just thinking about it, and now it's like, just in terms of like matches and games, if from what you've watched, or because obviously people have maybe not watched 1944 World Cup or whatever, but from what you remember of FIFA World Cup or European Cup Championships, bear in mind the Euro tournament was supposed to be happening now. Can you remember, what do you remember as the sort of greatest upset that you can remember in either the FIFA World Cup or the European Cup Championship? And I'll start with Montaha. And in the comments, let us know as well, guys.
Okay. So for me, you mean upset means like a team who performed well, but they were eliminated, right? Something like that. Or they were favorites, or they were like
they were
eliminated.
favorites, but they lost, sort of.
Okay.
Yeah, just any. So whether it could be a win, it could be a small team. Yeah, whichever.
So for me, France 2006 final, Zinedine Zidane. Again, in that 2006 World Cup, England versus Portugal, penalty shootout. That was really upsetting for me personally. And Spain versus France again in that World Cup 2006. That was the most upsetting part for me. Then 2014 for me, Brazil versus Germany. Oh my God, that's a bloodbath. I mean, I expected something, from that game. Like I knew Germany is going to win somehow, but I didn't expect that kind of performance from Germany, to be honest. And another one, which I believe was the latest one, 2018, it was Spain versus Russia for me, Germany versus Mexico, and then oh, I forgot this one. Okay, South Korea as well. Yeah, sorry, South Korea. You're right. And I don't know, you guys remember this one or not? The stacked England team in 2008. They lost to Croatia and they didn't make it to the Euros 2008.
Yeah, that was I remember that. I definitely remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, that one was like embarrassing, to be honest, for me personally as well. And I was rooting for England, and my boy Bex was on the bench. I don't know why. Yeah, man. So I can remember this all. Like, wait. Let me. 22. Wait, the last one. I'll say that. 2012 semi-final, Portugal versus Spain. Watch that game. I'll say that.
Ronaldo didn't even take a penalty.
Yep. Bro, that game was like full of drama.
That was a good game. That was a very good game.
Yeah. So, this is what I remember. So I just said, yeah.
Fair enough. Thank you. Thanks, Matar. What about you, Josh? Top or best like World Cup, Euro Cup like upsets, and then we'll get to some of the questions in the comments.
Yeah, obviously that Brazil 8-0 loss or whatever it was. I remember watching that live, but at a friend's house. Just not blue eyes. David Luiz just David Luiz just distraught. I think was that the game when Neymar had that back injury? I think went off injured, or was it the game before? Yeah. You know, I mean, everyone thought Neymar was diving at first because that's what Neymar does best. But yeah, that was absolute hammering. You know, Mustafi, the GOAT World Cup winner, obviously in that German World Cup squad there. Best sort of did you say best World Cup moments too?
No, I just said upsets. So best
upsets.
like World Cup upsets. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
I mean, it sounds weird, but Iceland beating England because it was just banter. Like obviously, hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Iceland beating England. It was. It's not like obviously I wanted England to go through. That's who I support, but it kind of just like everyone was like basically saying we're already through, and we lose to a country which has the population size of Leicester. So you know that was a bit of a humbling process, I think. It was a bit of a humbling process for many English people, and just a shock to go out like that, because I think a lot of people were saying that was one of our best squads, because a lot of players were in their prime or like going to be in their prime. There was Sturridge, Sterling, etc.
Bro, they literally say that every World Cup. Every World Cup that we go into, like this is England's best team, like since 1966.
I mean, apart from the one most recent, was that the Euros or the World Cup where we actually did really well, and that was probably our worst squad.
Yeah.
There was no hype there. World Cup, yeah. But yeah, those are my two. I'm glad I get last in the.
Everyone's like forgetting the time that Spain didn't even qualify after becoming world champions. That was absolutely nuts.
When was that? What do you mean? When was that?
Oh no, they didn't qualify for the Euros. Like they won the World Cup and then they didn't qualify for the Euros.
So that was
in 2016 they played.
Yeah, it was one. It must have been. It must have been. I can't remember what it was, but like it was Spain didn't qualify one time. It was either after they won the World Cup.
They qualified.
They won in 2012.
Yeah.
Was it in 2000? Oh, they won it in 2012. Okay, it was one of them where I'm sure Spain didn't qualify. I think they won the World Cup and then they didn't qualify for the Euros or something like that.
I mean, unless you're referring to, like, I know they didn't qualify for the 1982 tournament, so whether they want to, the only thing I guess you could say is it's if we're going to talk about Spain recent was when they qualified for the World Cup just the last World Cup just gone in 2018, 2018, where they couldn't get out of the group stage.
That's
2014, bro.
Sorry, 2014. Sorry, man. Yeah, when Robin van Persie and Chile sort of took them to the sword and they couldn't get out. I don't know whether you said that's an upset though, because Chile and Netherlands were solid teams. They weren't like.
By the time Spain had faced or were facing Chile, they were gone psychologically against Holland.
Oh, Greece winning the Euros is also shouts out. Definitely.
You know what? But I have a question for that. Really, that's an upset, except for Ronaldo. Like, okay, Ronaldo camp. Yeah, I can understand. But that's a football, winning the tournament, underdog winning a proper tournament. Well, I mean, international tournament. Let's be honest, bro. Is that really an upset? I mean, come on. Don't you think so? It's like a victory for all of us. I mean, in terms of small nation, like nobody recognized them. Okay, in that tournament they were so good, but they won it, So I don't think that's upset for me personally, at least.
They won a lot of games in extra time, didn't they?
Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. That's a fair point. So like I guess it's because just no one really expected them being a small team to actually win. But you're right. It's the same thing, I guess, of Leicester City. So Is anyone spoke? Abdullahi, any your FIFA World Cup Euro Cup upsets? And then we'll just get into some questions.
I have a World Cup upset, man. I have a World Cup upset. I
Okay.
can never forget it. Nigeria
Okay.
versus Argentina. Nigeria Argentina in the 2014 World Cup. My goodness, I cried. My goodness, I can never forget when what his name? Is it Marcos Rojo or what's his name?
Marcus
He scored
Rojo.
Yes, I remember it like it was yesterday, bro.
That is heartbreaking for me. I can never forget that, man. I was already celebrating. I was dancing. He's going to, man. When he scored, my goodness, my body just came down. Like, what the hell?
Because Messi scored that game, and then Rojo scored the winner. I remember.
Yes, yeah, Marcos Rojo scored the winner. My goodness, that day.
Marcus
My body
Rojo,
just went
who's
down.
never done anything in his whole life, decides to just knock out Nigeria. Brilliant.
My God, I was already
Yeah.
dancing when we beat us. I was like, Aslan, we'll just take out the Argentina and we go. But when Marcos Rojo scored, oh my God. I can never forget that moment. I can't. I just forget it. No. It's boiling already every day. When you remember that day, I could not sleep for like a week. I was like, I keep watching that. When I keep watching the highlights, I was like, what the hell is going on? Why do we defend this way? Why?
Well, would you say that it was a upset? You know,
No, it wasn't.
Nigeria weren't necessarily the favorites going into the game. You know,
I think for me, the referee made there was VAR in that situation. That was the penalty for me. That Johnny Gallo and someone used an handball. That was a clear, balanced penalty. I don't know what the VAR was thinking, but that was a clear for me, a penalty for me. I don't know why, because the referee said at the match that there was a penalty, but it was pressured not to give the penalty because it was diamond. I was like, what the hell is going on? This is a whole nation. Everybody's watching the World Cup. You're gonna be telling me you're gonna blow that for the penalty? When everybody's watching that, that's hard-working for everybody watching that, man. With the VAR is already showing it already. VAR is there showing it, and you're telling me that. Oh my God.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I think so. I'm just gonna list. List. As everyone had their say, by the way, I'm gonna just list off some few, just the ones that people to remember. Obviously, the Spain. People in the 2014 Spain versus Netherlands. It was 5-1. So while I know that Spain I wouldn't say they were partial favorites, but they're one of the big teams going in. To lose 5-1 to the Netherlands in the group stage for me was an upset. I think another big upset that people forget is in 2002 World Cup when South Korea, I'll bet controversially, beat Italy 2-1.
Italy, yep.
You know, so that was something. 1 January was there. You know, so they got to the semi-finals. So the other big one in 2002 that people forget, Senegal beating France. Obviously, France had won the World Cup beforehand in '98. So for Senegal to then beat France, I don't think France. I can't remember. Did they even get out of that group? I think they finished bottom.
Yep.
So that was literally 4 years after obviously they won the World Cup. Brazil versus Germany, obviously everyone sort of knows. One that I think from an England point of view that we tend to forget is in 1950, the USA beat England 1-0. And why this was banter was because the USA team was basically just a bunch of part-timers, including like a paint stripper, a brickman, and a mailman. You know what I mean? Like the English team in 1950, they were still relatively professional. So the fact you're getting beaten by a mailman and a painter says something about the quality of English football at that time. It almost ties to what Josh was saying about the fact that England are still getting beaten by countries with a population size of Leicester. But does anyone else have any other moments? Otherwise, we're going to quickly get into some questions and comments.
Go ahead.
I've got two quick ones. I've got Germany versus Italy in the 2012 Euros, and I've got Brazil versus Holland in the 2010 quarterfinals. 2010 World Cup quarterfinals. Brazil versus Holland.
I remember. Was that a shock? Brazil versus Holland. Holland just seems to be playing quite well in the sorts of. You said that was a shock.
Yeah. I think the fact that Brazil got knocked out in the quarterfinals and with the team in which they had as well, I thought everyone thought that they'd go further, but obviously Holland lost that final. But yeah.
Okay.
You know what? Which is the second biggest shock, I believe, after the 7-1 in the history of World Cup. It's in final 1974 Netherlands versus West Germany, because that Dutch team was like, for example, like
Yeah.
it was like a Spain team of 2010.
Mm.
Okay, was playing against the Netherlands, 2010, but
Mm.
Spain won ultimately, right? But that was not a scenario. It's like Netherlands winning 2010 World Cup. That was a scenario, right? So if you compare the situation, 1974, that Dutch team should have won the World Cup, but Beckenbauer, so they won. The Germany won the World Cup. That's the second biggest, I believe, the upset, I believe, in the World Cup. So you can see that, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair because that Dutch team was something else. So, and you're right. I think they probably should have won that. So, yeah, I think that's fair enough. So we're gonna just quickly go through some questions. Then we're gonna wrap up because I think we're about an hour and a half in. So there's just a few. I'm just gonna scroll back. Average Joe just had a few. 2 seconds. Okay, fine. Okay, so here's one. Just for anyone to take. Name 3 youth players that you believe could improve your squad, club, and why. We'll make it to 1 just for sake of time. So go around. So everyone here has a club. Can you name 1 youth player who you think would come and improve your squad? Josh, do you want to start?
3 youth players that you believe.
Yeah, just
age
1,
20 and under.
Just 1 for the sake of time. Yeah, age 20 and under.
I mean, we've got some pretty amazing youth players anyway. 20 and under. I mean, there's the guy at Lille. I forgot his name. He's got quite a long name. He's a midfielder. Tall African guy. I forgot his name. But he's if anyone knows what I'm talking about, he plays for Lille, I believe.
You mean Eduardo Camavinga?
That's the one. There we go, my man. There you go. He has the knowledge. I like this guy.
bro, but that guy's like the prodigy of midfield, bro. Like they're saying.
That guy's a serious player, right?
Talent,
serious
baller. Yeah, man, baller.
Wow.
Bro, I'm
glad.
I'll just say one thing. Just about that guy. Yeah, the guy plays DM, CM, AM, and his most skillful press resistant and. I mean, pace, power. I mean, whatever you want to say, bro. That guy is look at his defensive stats, bro. It's blew up, the top midfielder stats this season, Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so he, not LB. What's your name again? Sorry, not LB. Montara, that's the one. I always get confused. Yeah, but he knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's my pick.
Okay, fair enough. Montaha, what's your thoughts on this question?
Okay, so for one player, I believe we have a goal scorer issue, man. So I'll go for because it should be 20 and under, right? So Erling Haaland. I'll go with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Shawnee, your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, like is a youth player from any team or just from Liverpool?
From any team that could, the under 20. So any youth player under 20 that if you feel could improve your squad.
Cool. I mean, there's lots of young talent out there at the moment, but I really like the sound of that young lad that I mentioned on the previous show, the midfielder from the German club. Do you remember the guy that I mentioned?
I mean,
I have it.
Yeah. Has he been mentioned already?
He's not been mentioned. No.
I'm not sure how old he is.
I was about to mention that, man. Why do you steal my prediction? Don't do that. Don't do that. Why? Why do you do that?
Why, Sean? Okay, go on. Why?
Yeah, I mean, like I say, it's something that there's been talks about him in German newspapers coming to Liverpool. So I was interested, and he kind of reminds me of an aggressive version. Well, not really aggressive. He's aggressive in the right way, and if he continues to be like that, being a strong midfield player with the passing range that he has, I think he's just going to be absolutely incredible. Probably one of the best that we'll see in recent years. So, yeah, if I had to pick someone right now in terms of youth. And just throw one out there in the air. That's probably who I'd say. He just sounds like a really young, exciting player. And in terms of Liverpool, we're looking for a Jordan Henderson replacement. Because he's, we're looking at maybe another 2 or 3 years with him, and then we're probably looking at a replacement. And And if he continues in his ways, he'd be a great replacement.
Okay, fair enough. Who's not answer this? Abdullahi.
Yeah, he already said my view. I wanted to see Kai Havertz because when you talk about player, who kind of, I would have mentioned Jadon Sancho, but Sancho has not proved me. He hasn't proved me yet to what I want in a player. He just only one season in Borussia Dortmund. I want him to stay one more season. Then I can judge on Jadon. At the moment, I cannot judge on. I can't spend 150 million on Jadon Sancho, and when it comes to EPL, he flop. My goodness, it's gonna be a huge confusion in that team. So I don't want someone I want someone I'm confident about when it comes to that team, is gonna improve. That Chelsea team needs some rebuild. Barkley out, Jorginho out, go. So I'm being a Chelsea fan. I don't know the job of Jorginho in that team. I don't know the job of Jorginho in that team. I'm telling you, his job, I don't know. Jorginho, get out. Barkley out. Please just go. I need someone that we have too many midfield in that team. Mason Mount, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Bill Gilmore. We have someone. We also have this guy also who just signed a contract. What's his name? Timo Anjorin, who is also an attacking midfielder. So when you have Kai Havertz also in that position, he can play as number 8, he can play as number 10, he can play as a striker, he can play as a wing, he can play as a midfield, he can play as a DM. So what else do you want to play that he doesn't do? So having Jorginho and then Barkley in my team is a surplus for me. Just like put them in class B break at the moment. Just lock them.
Okay.
They don't even fit the player profile we want in our team.
Abdullahi, so you're going on a rant about Chelsea's squad stand. That's fair enough, bro. I just
don't know the job of Jorginho and Barkley in that team. I don't know. They're not useful. I don't know.
No.
It's pissing me off, man.
So Kai Havertz will be the player that you think would be able to
Kai
come
Havertz,
in and
man.
good job.
That guy is a baller, fantastic player. Man.
Okay. Fair enough, bro. Fair enough. LB, what's your thoughts?
I'd say Sancho, guys. I know he's 20, but obviously great talent. And he's already been linked in with United, so I suppose just watch that space and see what happens.
Okay, fair enough. I think that's everybody answering the question. So I'm just going to quickly just answer C as a question here. See, Real Madrid will play the rest of their home games in the Defano Stadium, home games in Defano, which I believe is a small field compared to the Bernabeu. Would it play a factor in the title race? So Montaha, do you want to start with that? Do you think that will affect Real Madrid?
Yes, I'll just answer that directly. The Stefano Stadium, it's like slightly smaller than Bernabeu, but I think so. It won't affect us. The reason is that because we have so many technical players in that midfield, like some Isco, Kroos, Modric, and like Eden Hazard's back as well, so we can play in the tight spaces if that's the case. So. Nah, I don't think so. It's totally up to Karim Benzema. If if his off-ball moments are spot on, then we are getting those W's and G's. Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone have any thoughts on that, or should we move on to the next question? Any further comments on the Real Madrid question? Okay. Let's 2 seconds. There was another one here. Okay. Now I'll probably change the number. Okay, it says name 5 players that you would like to sell this summer for respective clubs. So let's reduce that quickly. Let's reduce that to 3 players. So 3 players in your squad right now that you think. LB, are you having to head off now?
Oh, I've got to head off, guys. So it's been great. It's been great.
Take care, bro. Take care, bro.
No worries. Thanks for coming on, LB. Really appreciate it. So I thought it was longer than it was, but really see you next week, buddy. You take care, man.
Take care, bro.
All the best. Take care. Bye, bro. So we'll end with this basically. So Josh, 3 players you like to sell this summer for your respective club?
First is Lacazette, which might be a little controversial, but I just feel that we have. So our attacking options at the minute are Saka, Martinelli, Aubameyang, Pepe, Reece Nelson. and you've got others, sort of squad rotation players like Emil Smith-Rowe and Joe Balogun, people like that. So, honestly, Nketiah is a better finisher than Lacazette. He's quicker and he's younger. I watched him against, I don't think it was Man U. He hit the bar against, it might have been Man U actually, where he hit the bar. And I was thinking, this kid can track back as well. Like, he's better than Lacazette and he's younger. Martinelli, I know he plays, he's a winger really, and same with Saka. Nelson and Pepe also wingers, but they're better than Lacazette also and younger. So, I think Lacazette has served the club well. Just, I think he's pushing 30 now. And I feel like he can still be a great, great player, just not my club. To go back to French league, I think, is what I'm trying to say. But no, the other two, I don't know, because honestly, like, there's been a lot of improvements. I know people will banter and say, oh, Mustafi and David Luiz, your defenders. But, I mean, since Arteta's come in, we've had a really, really good defensive record. We've had a lot of clean sheets. People like Mustafi are looking really good. I know he had, like, one mistake against, wasn't Man U, who was it? It was a big club. I forgot who it was. He had that one mistake, but other than that, he's played really well. Luiz has actually been really good too. Just the thing about Luiz, he's getting old. So honestly, just like I said, if I'm perfectly honest with you.
Okay.
That's it.
We'll stick it to. I think we'll stick it to one because Aditya said he's got one question that he posted. I can't find it.
Days.
So we'll just stick it to one player as sell. Okay, so who you like to sell then, Sean, in the summer?
Yeah, I already had three players in mind. They're really, really fast players: Lallana, Lovren, and Shaqiri. If I had to pick one of them, I'd probably say Lovren.
Okay.
I think we can do better, or maybe Lallana. We can, either one of them. We can get some good talent in to replace them. And it won't be any worries either. So for Arsenal, the whole team. Okay, that's a little harsh. Average Joe.
Yeah, he's a Man U fan, so what do you expect? Anyway.
Go on. So I've just seen the comment. Anyway, go on, Sean.
You need to worry about spelling Lingard and Pereira and people like that before. Anyway,
yeah. Well, these are players that are just sort of like the ones that I've mentioned that they're like kind of leaning in, and they can't really get a game. There's many names in front of them. Even though they've done good service to the club, I think it would do them well for their own careers if they just moved on. Probably Lallana, especially. I think he'd do well at maybe a lower league team somewhere. So, even like I say, I don't want to sound mean. It's just that I think now at the level that we're at now, we could go for something better. And that's pretty much it. So if I had to say one, probably Lallana.
Okay, fair enough. Muntaha.
Yeah, for me, bro. Okay, like there are three players, I believe, and it's Gareth Bale, numero uno. That guy has to leave. No disrespect, legend, everything, but 650,000 euros per week is, come on. We can pay Mbappe our wages, So I don't think so. It's like now like productive to play Gareth Bale and like it's useful as well. Second player, I go with the James Rodriguez. I think so. We don't need him anymore. He should leave, and I mean he's not fully committed to the club as well. And Zidane as well, like having a personal beef with him as well. So like, it's better for him as well to leave. And the third player, I believe, it's Nacho. He's like old, and like I mean, we need to get another young, center back to, who will be a second fiddle to Rafael Varane. So yeah, that's it.
Anstey is saying Roma should get rid of Bale, James Rodriguez, you said, and maybe Jovic, Mariam. So you mentioned two of those players. What about Jovic, Mariam? What do you think, Muntaha?
Mariano, no, because the reason is that because that guy's like shows up like many times. I mean, when I mean many times, I mean he presses the position, and every time he shows lots of energy, dedication, desire, attachment to the club. So we need that kind of player in the squad. With Jovic, let's see next season, because the season is fully shit for him. I mean, injuries because of attitude problems as well, breaking quarantine rules as well. I mean, and everything. So ultimately, it comes up to next season to judge for Luka Jovic. He's talented, but so we should judge him for next season. So I just named my 3 players. I don't want them in the team. So it's Bale, James Rodriguez, and Nacho.
Abdullahi, have you spoken about? I mean, well, you sort of did. Have you spoken already about this, haven't you? In your Chelsea round.
I haven't spoken yet, man.
Okay,
If
fine.
I
Okay.
if I have to mention that player, I can mention 10 out of 12 at the moment. Who I'm serious. I am getting pissed off with those great academics in my team. I need Roman Abramovich to do me a favor. Just give Lampard, give him the chance to just offload those great academics in my team. Number 1, Barkley. Number 2, Jorginho. Jorginho has to go. You have to leave my team. His position in that team, I don't know. Jorginho, go. Barkley, go. Messi Batshuayi, go. Olivier Giroud, boom. Out of the door, please. Hariza Balaga, he has to go too. Because we cannot spend a 2 million player and will become a brick in my team. Go. If I can mention 10 players, they have to go. Because don't think we need a player who is ready to give his all for that team. Those players I'm seeing, they need to be inducted in Class A break. I need to ask HH. All this is academic. There are some players there I need to induct. Number 1, Marcos Alonso. Alonso is good, but he has his off movement is very, very bad. Marcos Alonso is very, very bad.
You can only get rid of 3 right now, Abdullahi. So you can't get rid of 10.
No, I'm saying I'm getting pissed off. That team need a rebuild. Number 1, number 2, Barkley. Number 3, Messi Batshuayi. Those 3 players need to go. Just sell them, please. Maybe to Division 2 or Championship team. Let them go there.
Fair enough, Abdullahi. Fair enough. Okay, so this is Abdullah's question. This will be the last question, so because I know we're going on for late. But thanks everyone who's been getting their questions in and keeping this interactive. Really appreciate. Hopefully everyone's been enjoying the show with our opinions. Aditya Raj basically says, if Man City doesn't play for 2 years in any of the UEFA tournaments, so which players should they put on loan and to which team respectively? So from my understanding by the question, I'll maybe condense that. So
Aguero to Liverpool.
Sorry?
Aguero to Liverpool.
Aguero So essentially, it's like, let's put a spin like, which basically 3 players from Man City, if their ban gets held, would you have at your respective club? Maybe that's kind of essentially what the question is. So, John,
I want the player. That player, I've been waiting for Chelsea to buy that player. I don't know why we don't buy him. Leroy Sané. Just give me Leroy Sané.
Okay.
I don't want anybody. Just give me Leroy Sané. I'm okay with that thing. I'm okay. Give me Leroy Sané. I don't want anybody. Just that guy. Because Man City are missing a lot of gem in that team.
He's great. He's such a good talent.
He's a very good player. Very, very good player. But I don't know why Pep Guardiola doesn't like him. That's what I said about Guardiola. My agenda with him continues until he wins that championship. If he doesn't win it, my God, I'm ready to roast him out. I'm ready to roast him. He better win that championship for Man City. If he doesn't,
but what? So
better pray. So Man City should beat him. If Man City doesn't beat him, oh my God.
So Abdullahi, so out of Sané, so what were the other two City players that you would have? So you said Sané. What were the other 2 though?
For me, I would love Sané in my team, but the only player I would say I want in my team at the moment that will kind of improve a lot of what I want. I don't want Raheem Sterling because we have players who can be up to the level of Raheem Sterling in my team.
Raheem Sterling, okay.
I don't really want Raheem Sterling that much. Like, he's good, but the only thing Raheem Sterling has is just pace, run, pace. That's what he has. Pace. If you have a very good defender, like someone like Wan-Bissaka, who can go 1v1 with Raheem Sterling, it's game over for Raheem Sterling. Because you have a player who can go 1v1 with him, who can run, who can tackle, who can match. You can take Raheem Sterling out of the game. No, but in terms of Leroy Sané can play any wing. He can play as a right wing. He can play as a left wing. And he's very dynamic, very, very athletic player. So that's going to play I want in my team that's going to be giving opposition problem upon problem. That's what I want. I don't want Raheem Sterling that my defender can even take him out of the team. I don't want that kind of player. So I will stick on Raheem Sterling a little bit. In that Man City team, all those kind of players, I don't want them. Just give me one player there. Leroy Sané.
Okay. Lewis. Okay, fair enough, Abdullahi. Shawnee, out of those, just what City players would you like, just quickly?
Just one. So yeah, I mean,
three even up to you if you wanted to.
okay.
The three.
Yeah, obviously, well, I think he's mentioned his admiration for Klopp a few times in interviews, and so like I think if I could milk the last little bit of genius out of him over the next couple of years, that would be absolutely great. Obviously, you have like David Silva, Bernardo Silva, who are absolute tremendous talents. Yeah, Sterling is another one. I mean, once again, he was already at Liverpool. I think he'd absolutely thrive on the Klopp. Oh my days, just take your pick. It's fantastic. The only person that I probably wouldn't have, because I prefer the person that we have now is Edison. I just think Becker is a better goalkeeper. So he's probably the only one out of that team that I wouldn't have. Obviously, I wouldn't replace anyone for VVD. So yeah.
Okay, fair enough. There seems to be some banter going on in the comment section between Team Takagi 1 and Average Joe, but we'll let them continue. We'll let them continue with their fight. Josh, which City players would you have at Arsenal?
City player. Aguero. I mean,
Okay.
actually, no, De Bruyne. Just because Ozil's past it. I still think Prime Ozil's better than Prime De Bruyne, but nobody's ready to have that debate. But it'd be De Bruyne because Ozil's way past his prime now. Yeah, that's an easy one.
Okay, fair enough. Well, we might discuss that maybe one of the topics on the show next week. Prime Ozil versus Prime De Bruyne. Like I said, guys, if for guys obviously on the podcast or on now or those in the comments, if you have specific topics you want to bring up and discuss, just DM me or email me, etc., and we'll get it on. We'll have that conversation because I think that would be good. Get more audience participation and discuss your thoughts. I think lastly, so Matar, have you spoken on this?
No, actually I haven't. So from my three players from Man City, okay, numero uno for me again from Man City, Bernardo Silva. That guy is the exact, I won't say exact replica, but like, you know, kind of technical player, workhorse in our midfield to replace Modric. I mean, that guy is genius, I believe, you know. The best technical player, midfielder for Man City as well. Second player, I'll go with Riyad Mahrez because we don't have much of impact from the right flank as a winger. Okay. So Riyad Mahrez would be really good for cut inside and score goals or, like, you know, create chaos for the position in La Liga as well. And it's technical as well. So I love that guy as well. Third player is pretty difficult for me, you know. Because
yeah, I think my mic's still on.
Oh. There you go. So there you go.
Yeah, no worries. I'll go with Gabriel Jesus, you know, because the guy would be a really good, you know, flank player for us, and, like, you know, if he can be on bench of Man City, so we are, like, you know, way bigger than Man City, so he can be on bench. Yeah, so that's my three players.
Fair enough. I mean, we're still getting questions in, but we're going to have to sort of wrap this up. So just want to say thanks everyone for getting involved. Thank you to Josh, Muntaha, Shawnee, Abdullahi, LB for being on the show. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it. Also, thanks to everyone in the comments. Like I said, guys, if you want to get your questions in for things that we discuss on future podcasts, message me either on Twitter, obviously email me. Links will be in the description as well. You can send it through email, guys. Take care, everybody, and
Peace.
cheers.
Peace.